Hello and welcome. These are horse racing selections for Wednesday the 16th of November and golf selections starting Thursday the 17th of November. I am Flat Cap Callum and I'm hoping you are all very, very well. Alright, got quite a bit to get through this evening and we're up a bit late. Where to start? Today's bets, Wednesday's bets, depending on when you're watching the video. 4 bets, £25, so it's a stake and a quarter. First race, 12.23 at Hexham. Every bet's a bit different, to be honest. It's a combination bet. There's a couple of lucky 15s that are done a bit differently and a lucky 31. So there's a little bit of everything. And bet 3 is possibly the most outrageous bet I've ever done on the channel, I think. So look forward to that. So that's coming up. Before we do that, we'll need to do a review of Sunday, including the Sunday, the golf climaxed, and we actually made a profit on the golf, heavens above. So yeah, we'll do the review on that. And also, just in relation to Sunday's bets, I was going to go through something. So yeah, just wanted to I've done a bit of a conversion table. I'll explain it. I'll try and keep it nice and simple. So, right, where do we go? Sunday, we had 15 on and we had it as 102.81 back, which was a brilliant day that was well needed to end the terrible run. So it ended up meaning that we finished the week up last week for £32, which now puts us only down 38 for the month. So halfway through November and we're down 2 day stakes. Which is a lot better than where we were looking Saturday night. So yeah, very, very happy. And I know quite a few would have done a lot better than the channel did on Sunday as well, depending on when you put the bets on the prices. So yeah, happy to get the bad run done. Whether Sunday's a standalone day and it was just a one-off day and we're going to go back to drivel, or whether or not we'll go on a nice little journey now, who knows? As I've said quite a long time, the channel is doing very well from a healthy point of view. So considering the volume of bets, I know some people like the volume of bets I put out, some people dislike the volume of bets I put out, but despite the fact I'm putting out a lot of volume of bets, the actual profit and loss is still very, very, very good. So even though people think I'm chucking out donkey bets here, there and everywhere, if you take into account where the profit and loss is at, you can't really argue with it, albeit it is through a Sky Bet account, so you get the benefit of extra places. But yeah, so Sunday's big bet was this, and it was very, very, very close. So the dabbler, that was the one that just caught me out completely. It drifted. So the channel bet, when I think we did the video about an hour and a quarter before the bet, before that first race. And that horse drifted at points to 66s and then back to 50s. So depending on when you got the bet on, it would have had a really significant impact. Just no way did I see that horse drifting at 50s. It was crazy price. So that was a good one. That placed. Then we had Saint-Brouet, which placed only for Sky. But at this point, Channel was on 20 and a 16 to 1. Whereas if you were non-Channel and you got Bog, you'd have been on a 50 to 1. Django was the heartbreaker. So for so many reasons, it finished 5th. It was very close to finishing 4th. Most bookies paid 4th. We needed 5th. So it wasn't 5th. If there was one less non-runner, Sky would have been 5th. Yeah, there was 3 non-runners and 2 non-runners. Sky would have paid on the 5th on that one. So yeah, the 3/4 of a length over a marathon trip was a bit gutting. Then First Impression ran a great race. That placed at 22s, and Rodney Bay placed at 9 to 1. So for some it was 4 places, and some it was 3 places. So what that meant is you got 3 or 4 on the lucky 31, but then you did get 3 out of 4 on the lucky 15. The double paid out, the single did not pay out. And what I want to articulate is this. So what I'm trying to do on the channel, I'm not trying to show how to maximise money from a Sky Bet account. I'm trying to show how to have a bit of fun and make profit. But what I'm saying is Sky Bet is the most profitable way to make money. I'm quite sensitive, and I was sensitive on this bet because of Saint-Brouet, because it was 4th on Sky, not else. So Channel Stake got back 102.81. If you take an SPs on a Sky account, that would have returned £280 on Sunday. If you were doing it with a bog bookie and you didn't have Sky, you actually should have returned 105.31 for the same bet. So a bog bookie, although you got one less place, paid out more money the way that I configured the bet. If you'd just done the bet straightforwardly, which I talked about on the channel, you would have come out with a better return unless you were on a bog bookie. And I just wanted to illustrate that fact because I do take it into account when I'm making these bets. I'm not making them preferable for Sky Bet specifically. And I'm taking into account that people are using other bookmakers. And this is a really good illustration where if you did the straightforward Lucky 31, which on a Sky account would have been a good thing, you'd have come out well ahead, more than. But if I'd done that on the channel bet, if you'd done a bog bookie, you'd come out basically half of what you did. So that was that. And then that was the other bet on Sunday, which was rubbish. Bob Ollinger definitely looked like he was going to win and got done. And then, on the golf, we had Alex Smalley Place. So that made a small profit. Nothing else went off on the golf. Joel Darman was only one shot off the placings in the end. Alex Smalley did place. So, small profit of 68 pence on the golf. As I said, that left us 32 up for the week after a terrible week, and it's been a terrible month. But we're only now down 38. Okay, moving on to Wednesday's bets. I've ummed and ahed. There's a lot of prices, a lot of interesting races tomorrow. So some good extra place races, but there's some really interesting races where there's a lot of value in the bottom end of the market. Away from like an odds-on favourite. So I've had a really good rummage, really. And this is what I've come up with. So bet one is a bit funny because it's 3 early races on the jumps, and then I've got the last leg is a Kempton race. So it's just the way I've worked it out today. So so we've got here 12.23 Hexham, large action, 16-1. Then I've split the second leg. So leg A is Marajam at 40s and leg B is Cinderella at 14s. And then leg 3, the 123 Hexham, Rathgiran, 28-1. And then the 8 o'clock Kempton, Got No Dodders, 16. So it's 2 times 10p each way, lucky 15s is the bet. That is bet one. It's a £6 bet, standard channel stake, but split leg. Hopefully that makes sense. And I'm saying Sky best, 365 next best on that one. Then I've got combination doubles on 2 races that people probably wouldn't expect. I didn't want to do anything more complicated on the combination bet, but so I've come up with a 12.45. Sky are the only ones paying 4, but I would place this bet with other bookies. So we've got Marajam 40s and Cinderella 14s going on at the 5.30 Dundalk, Jazzy Dancer and Beleaguerment. So it's 4 times 25p each way doubles. It's a £2 bet. And then bet 3. This is the one. I don't think I've had anything comparable on the channel before. And fortunately I've got a history of having nice prices, so people don't think I'm taking the absolute piss with this bet. So here it is, bet 3. 153 Hexham, Noble Affair, 150-1. 253 Hexham, Muror, 80-1. 315 Warwick, Glen Silly Burbas, 50s. And the 520 Kempton, Resonance, 50s. Just absurd. 10p each way, lucky 15, and then 6 times 15p each way doubles. The thing to flag with this bet is, I think all of those prices are massively overcooked, so they should be a lot less. Do I think those horses are going to win? I think they're very unlikely winners. Do I think they're going to place? I think there's a chance. These are the types of horses where all of these I would be looking at side markets for extra place stuff. But there was 4 of them together, and I just thought I'm going to stick them in together in one bet, and just chance your arm. I just think the prices are just way too big on all 4 of them. That being said, who knows? but I mean, 150-1 on that horse. I don't think that is the donkey that 150-1, but he'll have to do pretty well to place. So we'll see. It's there if you want it. As always, all my bets are optional. You take it or leave it. That's 480. And then finishing off with basically about half the stake is on the last bet. So this is bet 4. So we've got here a lucky 31 with an additional double. So 330 Dundalk, well suited 22s, 338 Southwell, Amore 11 to 1, and there's a 52p each way double on those two as well. Then the 438 Southwell, Alawi 12s, 5 o'clock Dundalk, Matilda with me 12s, and the 530 Dundalk, Jazzy Dance the 16s. And just so to round up the stake is what it's a funny amount. So it's 18 pence each way, lucky 31, 52p each way double, Sky Best, but only because they're an extra place on the first race. The rest of them, Coral and 365 are 4 across the board. So you are only getting the benefit of extra place on that one race. So it's a very marginal one around, is it better Sky or is it better Coral 365 and getting the bog on these, I would say. That's 12.20 is your bet for bet 4. So that is that. What I would say is at this time of year, I tend to like Wednesdays because you get a decent amount of all weather on a Wednesday. Thursday I would tend to go lower stake because it's a quieter day. Then Friday, Saturday back up again. So I guess I'm just flagging that stake at a quarter might become usual for a Wednesday, and then it might drop lower, more like 10 to 15 on a Thursday. But we'll see. So that's that. And then if you want it, this week's golf bet is big prices in places, only a £4 bet. And similar to last week, really, except there's no extra bet on here. So DP World Tour Championship, Adri Anhouse is my number 1 pick for value there, 100 to 1. And then Robert McIntyre at 33s. And then the RSM Classic, John Hu at 150 to 1. And Camilo Villegas, 300 to 1. 4 times 40p each way singles and 4 times 10p each way doubles. I should have written on there 8 places on that, 6 on that. So it's just a £4 golf bet for this week. It's one of those, we hook a place, we make a tiny profit unless it's Robert McIntyre, get a winner, bit delightful. But if you get a player in each tournament crossing over, then we're on to a decent bet there. But that is the golf bet for this week. All right, I think that is me covered for tonight, and I better get this video uploaded because it's late at the time of recording. But yeah, thank you for everybody who kept the faith through the bad patch, who's still with me. I know I'll have picked up a few bonus members, and there's probably definitely quite a few that dropped by the wayside. But as I always say, judge me on the long-term profit and loss. That's what I'm looking for. I'm not here giving you a CV of a bunch of bets I've ever won. People ask all the time. I'm never going to give a different answer. I'm never going to go, oh, do you know what? I won X amount of money and it was a massive win. I'll talk about the wins on the channel. Outside of the channel, that's you chat amongst yourselves about that stuff. All right. I will see you back tomorrow evening. It's probably going to be another later upload, although it will be a smaller bet is my expectation. All right. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.